Hey, how's it going? Alex here from IdeaSpot, and in today's WordPress tutorial, you're going to learn how to get free WordPress hosting. In this tutorial, we're going to be using InfinityFree.net to set up some free websites. So that's over at InfinityFree.net. Head over there and sign up now if you're not already signed up there. The two example sites that I've done today is ideaspotclass.epizy.com. So that's totally free. You can get this subdomain from InfinityFree and set up a WordPress website. So in this case, I've set up a little a coaching style website. The other way is using your own domain. So you can get a domain and point it over to InfinityFree.net. In this case, I've used ideaspot.space. You'll just need a domain to do that. But if you've got a domain, you can get SSL security on there too using Cloudflare. So I'll show you how to do all of this in this tutorial. So if that sounds interesting, keep watching. Okay, so in this free hosting tutorial, there's two parts, part 1 and part 2. In part 1, I'm going to be using the free subdomain from InfinityFree, so that's ideaspotclass.epizy.com, and all you'll need to do that is the InfinityFree.net account, and that's all. In part 2, I'm going to be setting up ideaspot.space, so you could use your own .com or .net, or a .space is quite cheap. Even a .site from GoDaddy, they're only around $1 now. That price might change, but super cheap to get one of those. You can also get a free domain from Freenom. You can get some African domains like .ga or .my. I don't really recommend them. They haven't been that reliable in my experience, especially when you can get quite a cheap domain from GoDaddy or Namecheap. So have a look at those, I think, as your first preference. Now, as I was saying, this is in part 2, so you can skip ahead in the video. I'll put a link in the description with the timestamp, so you can just head over to part 2 if that's all you're interested in. All you'll need to do that is obviously the domain, the InfinityFree.net account, and you'll need to use Cloudflare.com. You can get a free account there to get your SSL certificate for free. So go ahead and get an account there. If you've got time, just head over and sign up on Cloudflare.com. And then once you've got WordPress installed, we use a plugin called Really Simple SSL, and I'll show you how to set that up as well. But that's basically going to be the tutorial. So hang in there, watch it right to the end. This part is a little bit more tricky. So if you're just a beginner, maybe just start with part 1 and learn to build WordPress using the subdomain. And then if you really want to get into setting up a domain name, have a go at trying part 2. So keep watching. Hope you enjoy. Now, using free hosting, it's obviously great because it's free. It's a great way to learn, but there are some pros and cons, which I'll get into towards the end of the video. So also stay tuned for that. But anyway, let's get started. The sign-up process for InfinityFree.net, it's pretty simple. Just head over to InfinityFree.net in your browser and click sign up now. Then we just have to fill out the sign up form. So you need an email address, pick a nice strong password, click the agree to the terms of service and click the Google Capture there to verify that you're not a robot, and then create the new account. From here, I'm using Chrome. I can save my password like that, and you'll get a verification email to your email address. So you've just got to log in. In this case, I'm using Gmail, so I'll log into Gmail and verify my email. So here I am in Gmail. I've got my InfinityFree verification email here. Just go ahead and open that, and let's click that verification link. Wait for that to load. And there we go. Our email address has been verified. You can create your hosting account. From here, we click Create Account. And there's two different ways to do this. You can use a subdomain and a custom domain. So a custom domain can be any .com or .net, .site, .space, whatever you like. You'd have to own that domain yourself to use this method, or the totally free method is with the subdomain. So I'm going to use the subdomain method first, and then I'm going to use the custom domain to use my own domain and make it secure with SSL. So keep watching to the end of the video if you want to use this method. But for the first method, I'm going to use the totally free method. So that's using a subdomain. So for the subdomain, you'll choose your name there, and then you can choose the domain extension, and you can choose epizy.com or rf.gd. I'm going to choose epizy.com. I think that's a little bit snappier to remember, but rfgd is shorter, so that might actually be better for search engine optimization. Maybe, I'm not really sure. Epizy.com, I think it just sounds a bit snappier. So I'll call this one ideaspotclass.epizy.com. So let's see if I can have that one. From here, if this domain name is free, it'll say it's available there, and then we label it. So I'll just leave that default as website for IdeaSpot class. Username is generated automatically, and you'll need a good password here. So let's go and generate a nice password. So just put a nice password in there. I've hidden mine, obviously, and I'll click I'm not a robot. And then we can go ahead and click create account. Okay, now our account is created. We're going to want to open our control panel. So go ahead and click the control panel and it will redirect us to the control panel. From here, we just have to click approve to join the email program. Just join the email list and the control panel will load up from here. So what you get with InfinityFree is a pretty normal control panel. Go ahead and click this cookie message there. And to install WordPress, we're going to want to find our Softaculous Apps Installer. So let's scroll down and find Softaculous Apps Installer. It's down there under software. Let's click that. And this will load up all the open source apps that you can possibly install. So the first one is obviously WordPress. So let's go ahead and click install. And here are all the options when you install WordPress. So most of these you can leave as is. 5.4 is the version. You want to use HTTP, and ideaspotclass.epizy.com is the domain. That's the one we chose earlier. The directory, make sure you leave that one blank so the WordPress goes straight into the root directory of IdeaSpot class there, or whatever you've chosen. Site name, you can choose a site name now. I might just call it IdeaSpot class now. You can totally change this stuff later if you like. So there's no worries if you haven't thought of a name yet. You can leave it there. Description is WordPress tutorial. But yeah, you can totally change this through the dashboard later if you like. We're not going to use multi-site. Now we do need to set up a good admin username and password. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to call my username IdeaSpot and pop in a nice strong password here. So I've got a good password and we'll just need to use our email address. Let's pop in my email address there and my language will be English. You can leave these as default. You can choose a theme here, but it's better to choose the theme later through the WordPress dashboard. So keep watching and I'll do that a bit later. But then we just click install here and just wait while this installs. I'm actually going to save that password. Make sure you save your WordPress password because we'll definitely need that later. With any luck, you'll get a successful WordPress install and you'll get your congratulations message. Your subdomain link will be here and your admin link to go to your WordPress admin dashboard will be here. Now, these links might not work straight away. If you're lucky, they'll work straight away or within a few minutes, but there is sometimes up to a 72-hour wait for the domain name caching to refresh. So just be patient. If your link doesn't work straight away and you try clicking it and you just get an advertising page, just be patient. Eventually this will start working. You'll be able to see your website and you'll be able to get into your admin dashboard. So in my case, I had to wait a while, but eventually these will work. So just be patient. So the first link here, that will take you to the main page of your new WordPress site. So that'll just say, hello world. This is basically what a blank WordPress site looks like. You can get to your admin dashboard down here by clicking site admin, and that'll take you to your dashboard. This is where you can install themes and start working on your site. The other way you can do it is by using this link here and just clicking that. It takes you to WP admin. It'll take you to your dashboard here. So you can get there anytime really, just by putting /WP admin/ there at the end of the URL, at the end of the domain that you've chosen in the address bar. That'll take you to your WordPress dashboard. Now, depending on your browser, you might not be logged in. If you're not logged in, it'll take you to a page that looks like this. Let's go back there. Let's just type that in manually so I can show you what it's like. Admin. So you type /WP admin, and then you put in your username and password that you made when you were installing WordPress using Softaculous and log in. So go ahead and log into your dashboard. So your dashboard is basically where you build your site. You can install your themes, your page builder, you can write your posts and make pages here. So the first thing I like to do is appearance and themes. And when you're starting out, I always recommend Astra as the first theme you should try and use. Click Add New here, and let's go ahead and search for Astra. Now, the reason I like Astra is because, first of all, it works really well with the free version of Elementor, and second of all, it's got lots of free demo content, so you don't have to do a lot of design work. You get a pretty good result, and you get that pretty quickly. So Astra will pop up here. You want to click Install and wait for that to install. When that's all done, we click Activate. And after activating, it'll say, thank you for installing Astra, and you've got this little button here to get started. So let's click that one. So what this does, it sets up these starter templates. Now, this is what makes things super easy to get started in WordPress. Astra gives you lots of these cool free starter templates to start building your website with. From here, we get to choose our page builder. Now, earlier I was talking about Elementor, so I think this is still the best free page builder. Beaver Builder and Brizzy are also pretty good, but I'm not going to cover them in this tutorial. Gutenberg is what comes with WordPress by default, so it's very reliable, but it's not as friendly as Elementor. So this is definitely my favorite. So let's go ahead and select Elementor. And here we are. This is where all the Astra starter templates are shown, so you can just choose what looks good to you. There's a little drop down menu here. You can just choose the free one. So some of them you need the pro version, but heaps of them are still included in the free version. So I really like this outdoor adventure one when you're starting out. That's quite simple. And the other one I quite liked was called Coach. So I think that's scroll down a bit here. This one is called Coach. So let's go for this one today. So we can import the complete site by clicking that one, or you can just import single pages. Maybe you don't want to have all 5 of these pages. So for this demo, I'm actually going to import the complete site. So let's click that one and wait for that to import. Now here it's just going to confirm what things are going to be imported. So we want tips in the customizer settings, widgets, plugins, and content. So let's just select those and click import. From here, it says it's going to take between 2 and 10 minutes, depending on the size of the site and the speed of the connection. So just be patient while it imports this. It has to install Elementor and some other plugins as well. So it can take a little while. And if this free website isn't running that quickly, it can take a little while. So just be patient. Okay, so after a while, you'll get the message, imported successfully, and your website has been successfully imported. So we can go ahead and customize the text and images and design to make it yours. So let's view the site. Here we go. This is our free website. So this is the Astra theme with the Coach template installed. You've got this guy here, you've got a couple of buttons, and you've got your header menu up here. We can go ahead and start editing this. So the first thing you'll do is just click Edit with Elementor. You can load that up, and that will load up your Elementor page builder. So I've done that in the new tab. Just wait for the Elementor page builder to load. Here we are in our page builder. Now, I'm not going to get too detailed about how to actually build the page in this tutorial. I've got lots of other Elementor page building videos, but you can basically click on things and edit them. So with the text here, let's go ahead and change this to free hosting tutorial. And you can change things to whatever you like. And it's super easy to build WordPress websites using Elementor. And this is the free version. So I'm going to edit this section, just clicking that, click the style, and we can find our background image that way. And we can go ahead and just change that guy to something else, perhaps. So in the media library, there's a few stock images. So let's change it to this one instead, perhaps. And let's go. So it's as easy as that. You can upload your own images there, and when you're done, you can click Update, and the page should update. So let's go back to our page, and we can reload, and there we go. We can see our changes. So it's basically as simple as that. You can go through and build your website using Elementor. I'll put some links in the description for my Elementor tutorials, but this is a free website using InfinityFree, using a free subdomain, so that's epizee.com. The main disadvantage with this is obviously you've got epizee.com on your website. It's not a custom domain, and you don't get the security of SSL using these free domains. So keep watching the video. If you want to use your own personal domain on InfinityFree, you can host a custom domain on InfinityFree, and using that method, you can actually get your own name and you can get SSL security. So keep watching and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, first step, we're going to want to create a new account. You'll notice that InfinityFree actually gives you up to 3 free accounts. So we've only got 1 of them active so far. So let's go ahead, create a new account here. From here, we're going to be using a custom domain. So go ahead and click custom domain and put in your domain. So I'm using ideaspot.space, but you can use whatever you've got at .com or .net. It doesn't matter. Any domain will work here. The first half of the video we used a subdomain, but this is when we're using our own domain. So ideaspot.space, and then we click search domain. It's going to say this one is available. So if you don't even have any domain yet, you can go ahead and get one fairly cheaply over at GoDaddy. I think you can get a .com for just $5. I'm using a .space, which is just like 99 cents at the moment. A .site, similar, you can get them for 99 cents. The prices do change, so don't quote me on that directly, but go ahead and check out GoDaddy. That's pretty cheap. If you want a free one, you can actually get free domains at freenom.com, not .com or .net or anything, but you can get some like some of these African domains are actually free. So a .ga or a .cf or a .ml, you can try it out for free. I don't really recommend using these African domain extensions, but if you're just testing and you're just learning, check out freenom.com. But I'm using GoDaddy. I'm just using like a 99 cent one for this example. So anyway, let's get back onto the tutorial. This step's exactly the same as the first part of the video. We just put in a nice password here, click I'm not a robot, and then go ahead and create our account. Now here it's going to give you the error in this red box here that your domain is not yet pointing to ns1epizzy.com and ns2epizzy.com. Change your name server at your domain registrar and wait a few hours. Now I'm going to show you how to do that just now. Now this will depend on where your domain is registered. So I'm using GoDaddy, so I'll show you how to do it using GoDaddy. But if you're using Namecheap or another service, it's pretty similar. Just check how to change your DNS setup in your domain register. So I'll show you how to do that with GoDaddy just now. So I'm in GoDaddy here. I'm just under my DNS and I'm using a custom name server. I'm going to change the custom name server, and you want to check this option here. I'll use my own name servers, and you're going to want to change that so it says ns1epizzy.com and ns2epizzy.com, and then go ahead, click save. And then we just have to wait a while for that to propagate across the internet. So that can take a few hours, but hopefully it shouldn't take too long here. So now we've set up our DNS. Let's try this again and click create account. Make sure you put your password in there. There we go. Your account has been created. So now we just have to go and open our control panel, and it's going to be exactly the same as previously. From here, all we have to do is click approve on here, and now the cPanel should load up. So here we go. Now we just have to scroll down, find Softaculous Apps Installer, click Softaculous Apps Installer, and we're going to install WordPress again on this custom domain. So here we are in Softaculous. Now this step did take me a little while, like about 10 minutes for the actual website to start working. So just be patient. If it's not working straight away, just have a cup of coffee or something and come back. But WordPress, you can install it now. So click install. This step is all exactly the same as what we did before. Just make sure in directory is blank. All this stuff can be left as is, and make sure you've got a nice password here. So use a nice password in here. Make sure you're not using admin as the username. I'll just put IdeaSpot as my username, but you can use whatever. Just don't use admin, and put your admin email in here as well. So I've got ideaspotclass@gmail, and let's go ahead and click install now. And let's just wait for that to install. And now we will get the congratulations, the software was installed successfully message. So WordPress is all installed now. So from here, you can just click that first link. It'll take you to the blank WordPress install where you can log in to your site admin here. And that's just using the same password and username that when we installed using Softaculous. So I'll just go ahead and log in with those username and password. And that'll take us to our dashboard. I'm going to save that password in Chrome. The other way you can do it is through that link there on the second link, or you can just type that in manually, your domain /wp admin. Now, as I mentioned before, it can take a little while for your actual domain to start working. So just be patient. If it doesn't work straight away, just come back to it a bit later. But from here, we're going to set up our HTTPS, our little padlock icon here, and get the site secure. So keep watching. So to get SSL, you can get it for free. I'm going to use Cloudflare to do this. So go ahead over to cloudflare.com. And if you haven't already signed up to cloudflare.com, go ahead and click sign up. You'll just need to get started with an email and a password. And then after you've registered, go ahead and validate your email. I'm not going to go through those steps. It's pretty straightforward. So once you've logged into your Cloudflare account, it's going to say you don't have any website. So we're going to add our site with that button there, or you can add a site through the button up here. Either way, we are going to be using ideaspot.space here. So let's go ahead and click add the site. From here, we're just going to get started with the free plan. There's no need to use Pro or Business at this stage. So free is going to be fine for pretty much any of you. All we need to do is get that free SSL certificate. So now it's going to scan for the DNS records. So that can take a minute, so be patient there. And with any luck, it'll work, and it'll point your domain over to your free WordPress installation there. So now it's going to say change your name servers. So we have to go back in. In my case, I was using GoDaddy and change that ns1epz.com, and we're going to change it to the Cloudflare name servers. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's copy the first name server there. That's deckernscloudflare.com. Head back to our GoDaddy DNS management. And then we just need to replace that ns1epz with the Decker NS Cloudflare. And same with the second name server there. Let's just copy that one and replace there. And let's go ahead and save that. So now I've just reloaded the page, and we can see our name servers have been changed to Cloudflare's name servers. So let's head back to Cloudflare and make sure this is all set up properly. And we click done, check name servers. And there we go. Set up security and speed configurations for your website. So at this stage, we are not going to use the full encryption. Only the flexible one I found actually works well on the free InfinityFree. So let's just change that to flexible. And then let's always use HTTPS, turn that to on, and let's go down and click done. So this should all be good now. I'm just going to reload this page, and with any luck, this should be all set up. Great news, Cloudflare is now protecting your site, so that's all good. So now there's one more little step to getting the little padlock icon on your WordPress site. Let's head back to our WordPress dashboard. We're going to want a plugin called Simple SSL. So go to plugins and add new, and we're just going to search for really simple SSL. So I just search for simple SSL, and let's go ahead and install that one. And when that's done, we click activate. Okay, so after we activate, we'll get this message, almost ready to migrate to SSL. We can go ahead and click here to activate SSL. Now, bear in mind, it can take a few hours for it to get to this point. If it's not working straight away, just wait. The step where we changed our DNS from our epz name server over to the Cloudflare DNS name server, it can take a while to propagate across. So in my case, it actually took 3 hours. So I had to come back 3 hours later to get to this step. So just be patient there. But anyway, when you get this message, you should be good to go. We can go ahead and click that one. But if you're getting an error, just be patient and come back later. And so now it's going to ask us to log back in. So now we can see we've got our little padlock icon, and we can log in again here. So there we are, SSL is activated. We've got our little padlock icon, and we can view our site, and we should be all good. And there we go, we've got a secure, free website. So there we go. Let's do a little bit more work in here, because there's a few things that we can fix. First thing, we don't really need to worry about this because we're using Cloudflare's HTTPS redirect. We don't need to worry about this WordPress one, so we can dismiss that one. And next thing we can do is go over to our general settings. And we can just check that you've got HTTPS all set up there. If it's still HTTP, just drop an S in there and go ahead and click save. So everything should be cool now. We've got our green SSL activated thing here. We can close that out. We don't have any urgent notifications on there. So, I mean, we can just go ahead and look at our site. Everything should be loading just fine with our little padlock icon loading up just fine here. So all looks good. We can go ahead and start building our site now. So the first step I'd do from here is just go ahead and appearance and themes. So this is just basically as you do, add a new theme. And as I've done previously in the video, I like to use Astra to start out with for most of my websites. Go ahead and install that one and click activate. Then we click the get started button. So this basically installs our starter template, so we can choose from all the cool starter sites with Astra. I'm going to go for Elementor as usual as my favorite page builder, but you can choose whichever one you prefer, but definitely like Elementor. We just choose our starter site that we're going to build from. I like to just look at the free ones, obviously, and I'm going to use Coach, same as I did for the other website. And we can go ahead here and we can import the complete site. We can leave all this set up as default and just click import and wait for this to import. It does take a little while, so be patient here. Now, while you're waiting for it to install, I do have a complete playlist of building a website with Astra and Elementor in my channel. So maybe check out the link in the description. And if there's any particular detail of building a website with Astra and Elementor that you're interested in, check that out. Actually hit subscribe, and I'll come out with new videos on what the latest tips are for doing this kind of website building as well. So make sure you hit a thumbs up if this has been useful so far, and subscribe as I've said before. Thanks. There, now after a few minutes, the import will be successful and you can go ahead and view your new website. So here we go. Our starter template is all set up. I'm going to go and edit this with Elementor, make a few little changes here. I'm going to open the customizer as well, and then make a little bit of a change to this header menu. So after you've clicked edit with Elementor, you'll get taken to the Elementor interface here. Now I've got lots of videos on this, but I'm just going to change this a little bit. I'm just going to call it free hosting tutorial. This is just for this video. I'm just going to make a little bit of a demo to show you what this is actually like to work with. So I'm making a free site with SSL security. Whenever you make changes, go ahead and click update. I might just go ahead and change this background image as well. So we go ahead and click style, and we can click the image there, and you can upload images here, or you can use something out of the media library that's in the starter site. They've even got free images from Pixabay as well. So lots of ways you can customize your starter site. I'm just going to go for this, maybe this picture of the chair. Insert that one. Makes it look a bit cleaner. Going to go ahead and click update. The other thing I was going to do is work on this header a little bit. So when you're on your page, you can click customize. That'll take you to your theme customizer. This is where you can change the heading a bit. You just have to click header here, and site identity. You can go ahead and remove these logos. You can put a site title up there if you want, or you can put your own logo. Let's just put our own logo up here, shall we? I'll just find my logo. I'm going to upload that. So I can just go ahead and drag my logo in to upload it. I'll just select that one, and we can skip cropping, and we just want the logo width to be, I think 80 looks good. There we go, and hit publish. I mean, that's the basics of using the customizer and Elementor. So if you want more details on that, as I said, links in the description. I've got a full playlist on how to design with Elementor and Astra. It's fairly easy, so check that out. Back on our actual page here, I'm going to hit reload, and we can see the changes that we've made so far. So I've got my logo, and I've changed it to free hosting tutorial. So that pretty much wraps it up. So we've made a free WordPress site using InfinityFree. We've got our free Cloudflare SSL working. We've got our own domain. Not too difficult, but not entirely straightforward. So glad we've managed to get to this point. Glad it was all possible. It was an interesting experiment to do, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. So thumbs up if you found it useful. Now, Doing all this for free, it does come with some downsides, which I want to talk about the pros and cons here. So the pros, it is great for learning WordPress, testing, education, learning. This is a cool way to get your feet in the water and try things out. It's also fairly fast. I ran a test on Pingdom, and it's got a B, and it's loading in 3 seconds, so that's pretty good. In GTA metrics, it's actually getting an A on the page speed and a B on the Y slow, so pretty good performance for free. So it is fairly fast, and as we saw, you can even use your own domain and use your free SSL from Cloudflare. All of these things can be done working together with InfinityFree. So you can still get some quite premium features even on a free hosting website, so that is really cool. Now, in terms of the cons, the free website that you get with InfinityFree, it comes with very limited website resources. So that means while it looks all good when it's getting no traffic and it's just sitting here, as soon as it actually gets a lot of visitors, the site's likely to go down due to excess resource usage. So any serious project, I probably wouldn't use that. I'd go for even just a cheap host like SiteGround. You can still get a good result without spending a lot of money. If you're doing any serious project, I think just pay a little money and get real hosting. The other thing is many plugins won't work on here just because of those resource limitations. So if you were hoping to run like a big WooCommerce store or something like that, I don't even think you'll be able to get that working. So a huge downside there, not be able to do a lot of those more complex plugins. Another fairly serious con is it's not full end-to-end SSL. So that means while it does give you your little padlock, the padlock isn't completely through to InfinityFree.net. It just goes in between your visitor and Cloudflare. So it does secure the connection fairly well, but it's not enough to secure personal and financial data. So it wouldn't meet the compliance standards for doing any e-commerce, for example. So if you want to do that kind of website, definitely get some proper reliable hosting. And that brings me to the next point. Because the price is $0, you're not going to get a lot of service and support from InfinityFree.net. They do have a forum at InfinityFree.net, so it can be a bit unreliable, and a lot of things might not work, and you've got nowhere to go other than just trying to Google and look at the forum. And finally, Google SEO, because it's accessible to anyone without any identification. So a lot of people might use this website to set up some spammy or malware type things, and it can result in a low Google Trust score on the IP address. There's nothing you can do about that because you're sharing the service with other people who it's accessible to anyone. So I wouldn't really recommend this for any serious project. I think it's good for, like I said before, I think it's good for testing and education and learning WordPress, but as soon as you're serious about doing a WordPress project, head over to SiteGround or somewhere reliable and get a good hosting set up. Now, I know a lot of you still really want a free alternative, especially for e-commerce. So there is other options. I mean, there's squareup.com. You can build an online store for free. And there's obviously sites like Etsy, Amazon, and eBay. I would explore those first because these are safe, secure, people trust them, and you'll actually do probably a lot better in terms of your conversions trying to sell things on there, especially as a beginner, rather than trying to make a website that you've built yourself. And if all you want to do is blogging, there's things like Blogger, Tumblr, Medium, where you can make really good professional blogs. Even sites.google.com, you can make quite a flexible, interesting website for free as well. So there's other good alternatives if you're doing something a bit more serious and needed a free website. So, I mean, that kind of wraps it up. Again, thumbs up if it's been useful. Hit subscribe because I'm going to keep coming out with new WordPress tutorials. So you want to get access to those, and just let me know if there's anything else you need in the comments or any ideas for future videos. That'd be cool. Love to hear from any of you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.